3.11, our last lesson in chapter 3. We're solving problems by writing equations. And so we're going to set up an equation in order to solve these problems. And I'm going to be checking to see how well you set up an equation, not just guess and check. All right, first of all, the length of a rectangle is 3 more than 4 times the width. The perimeter is 56, and we want to find the length and the width of the rectangle. So the first thing I'm going to do is draw a picture. What shape? Rectangle. So we can fill in just a little rectangle. That's the shape we're talking about. And it really does help you to have a visual, have some kind of picture to reference. All right, now, how would you label this given the first sentence? How do you write 3 more than 4 times the width? Perfect. 4x plus 3. Do you agree with what he said?
Yes.
Where did the x come from? We were doing 3 more than 4 times the width. What's the width? X. We don't know, so we just called it an x. So we could put an x on that side of our rectangle. Now the next item is the perimeter. The perimeter is 56, but what is perimeter for a rectangle? Tanner?
All the sides of that hill.
Exactly. So we want to add all of those sides together, but I don't have all of my sides labeled. I only have 2 of my sides labeled. So if the right side is x, what do you think the left side is? X, all right. And if the bottom is 4x plus 3, what do you think the top is?
4x plus 3.
4x plus 3, all right. So we'll label all 4 sides. Now Tanner, you said we're going to add up all the sides. So I'm going to set up an equation, x from this side plus x from the other side. So I have the right side plus the left side plus the top, 4x plus 3, plus another 4x plus 3. And what is this all supposed to add up to? Do they tell us what the perimeter is going to be?
Yeah.
Jenna? 56, right here. It tells you the perimeter is supposed to be 56. So we can fill in equals 56. Now Hannah's already combining like terms, like nobody's business. Look out. She's got 1x here, 1x here, 4x here, and 4x here. Can you add all those x's together?
Yeah.
What do you got?
10x.
10x. Okay, then we have the plus 3 and the plus 3, which makes?
Plus 6.
Plus 6, yes. All right, looking good. Any ideas what to do now? Matt?
Subtract 6 from each side.
Excellent. Subtract 6 from each side, and you get 10x equals 50. What would you do next? Hannah?
Divide both sides by 10.
Excellent. Divide both sides by 10, and you end up with x equals 5. Looking good. All right, now, we've talked about how to check problems. If you have a straight equation that was given to you, you can just put your number back in and make sure it works. But if you were given a situation like this, you need to think through what makes sense. And so let's go back and see, did we answer the question and make sure it makes sense? The original problem said find the length and the width of the rectangle, and all we have is x equals 5. So I want the length and the width. How do I do that? Erica? So if I put the 5 back in here, what do you get? Excellent. 20 plus 3 is 23. Now is that the length or the width? So that's our length. We've got the long side here is 23. How long is the short side? Just 5. It's just a plain old x, and x is 5. So at this point we know the length is 23. The width is 5. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
All right. Now it's time to think this through and see if it truly makes sense. So if you picture this rectangle that's 5 by 23. 5 by 23, but it's 5 on this side, 5 on this side, 23 on this side, 23 on that side. What do you get if you added all those numbers together? 5, 5, 23, and 23. So that's 10, and that's 46. Hey, 56, sweet, it works. We have a perimeter of 56 with those two numbers. Make sense? Good to go. All right, number 2. On number 2, you're buying an item at Walmart. You only have $20 to spend, as in you walked in with a $20 bill in your pocket, that's it, nothing else. Since you have to pay tax on an item, what's the maximum amount that the price tag can be so that you'll be able to pay for it with only $20? Okay, didn't we do some tax problems already this week?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. We talked about total cost equals the tax plus the price of the item. So we have to add together the tax plus the cost of the item to get the total cost. And tax is always, you're multiplying two things together, the percentage times the item. What percent tax are we using?
6%.
6%, so we can put 0.06. Now, do we know the price of the item? No, so we're gonna put an X, thank you Ethan. We're gonna put an X here, and then what would go in for the price of the item over here? Now, wait a minute. It's gotta be the same as this item price. So if X is our item price here, X is our item price over here. What's the 20 then? That's the total cost. That's all you have to spend. Your total is only $20. So you can fill in your total as 20. Now, at this point, we have 20 equals 0.06x plus another x. What would you do with that? What can you do with that? Tanner, what are you thinking?
That'll turn into a 1.06.
Exactly. The coefficient in front of this x is a 1. And can you add those like terms together? 1x and 0.06x makes 1.06x. Beautiful. So we have 20 equals 1.06x. And now how could we get that x by itself? Exactly. We can divide both sides by 1.06. Now when you do that, punch it in top divided by bottom. What do you see on the screen? $18 and 80. Okay, that's a great question. Because at this point it's 8, 6. What's after the 6?
7.
A 7. All right. So we've been practicing rounding rules all week. So when you look at that next number, it's a 7. And so we would say, oh, you got to round that up because it's 5 or higher. And so you would make this $18.87 because that next number is a 7. But could you make an argument as to why you should round it down, not up, in this particular situation? You could? What are you thinking, Adam? That's a good point. If you round up, it might go over $20. And since you're trying to stay under 20, you might want to round down to $18.86. Now, in this case, either way, what should we do? What should we do before we go on to the next problem? Yeah, we should check it, make sure it makes sense. We're trying to figure out the maximum amount that the price tag can be so that you'll be able to pay for it with only 20 bucks. So when you want to calculate how much you have to pay, you're going to take that $18.87 times 0.06. What is the tax on $18.87? What do you get when you multiply those together? Daniel.
$1.13.
Okay, so if you take $1.13 for the tax, plus the $18.87 for the item you want to buy, what's your total at the register?
Exactly $20.
Exactly $20, we did it! Yay! Woo, that's it! So we just figured out that you can round it up and not go over 20 bucks. Very nice. All right, number 3. Jill was walking around the mall and she decided to stop for some French fries. The fries cost $2.39 plus 6% tax. So what's the total cost for those French fries? Okay, we're still using this same setup. Total cost is going to equal your tax plus the price of the item. And the tax is always that percentage times the price of the item. So when you multiply this, we're taking 0.06 times what? Do you know how much those fries cost?
$2.
Yeah, actually you do. It's right up on the menu. It says the fries are $2.39. So we can do $2.39 here and $2.39 over here. It's the total cost that we don't know. So we're trying to figure out our total cost. What do we do next? Hey, you got it? You got a tax? Punch that in. How much tax on those French fries?
Oh,
Oh.
no. Don't turn around.
That's what we're doing. We're doing that times that, and then adding it back on. Yes. So when you multiply these, did you get 14 cents in tax? 14 cents?
Yeah.
Okay. And then we're going to add that to the 239. Genesis, what's the final answer?
2.53.
Excellent. $2.53. Our total cost for the French fries. Boom. Okay. Back to the original question. It says, what is the total cost? We have our total cost. We added the tax to the item. Is it reasonable?
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely.
Go ahead. You want to take the homework? All right. On to the back.
Shower?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Okay. On to the back. Number 4. There are 3 times as many boys in 6th period as girls. If there are a total of 36 students, how many are girls and how many are boys? Okay. The first thing I want you to think about in a situation like this is, do you have more boys or more girls? So reread this. There's 3 times as many boys. Do you have more boys or more girls? More boys. Okay, jot that down. More boys. This is very, very helpful when setting up your equation to just stop for a second and think which one is bigger. Because it's very easy to accidentally have them switched and then the problem starts to fall apart. Okay, now, if you know there are 3 times as many boys, one of them is X, and one of them is 3 times X. Do you agree with that? Thank you. One is X, one is 3X. And you know there's more boys, so which one of these is bigger? 3X. So it's the 3x that represents the boys, and then what does x represent?
Girls.
The girls. All right? So we have x is our girls, 3x is our boys, and now we're going to use this. If there's a total of 36 students, how would you set up an equation for total? Because the total, what would that make up? How are we going to use that 36 with these? Erica?
3x.
Exactly. 3x plus x equals 36. These are the boys plus the girls equals the total. And you have to make sure you add them together and not just say 3x equals 36. Because it's 3x plus x equals 36. And then when you combine your like terms, 3x plus x is
4x.
4x. And then how do you get the x by itself? Divide both sides by 4. What does x equal?
9.
X equals 9? Alright, now is that 9 the boys or the girls?
Girls.
Yeah, if you look back up here, x represents the girls, so that means we have 9 girls and 27 boys. Because 3 times 9 is 27. Now stop and make sure it's reasonable.
Yes, it is.
Does that look like there are 3 times as many boys as girls?
Yeah.
Okay, and do they add up to 36?
Yep.
Yes, because 27 plus 9 is 36. Beautiful. We got it. All right, number 5 is similar but different.
Whoa.
In number 5, wait, was that a wait? Are we good?
We good. You are good.
All right. For number 5, there are 52 more girls than boys in the junior class. If the total number of students in the whole junior class is 316, how many are girls and how many are boys? Okay, wait. Does that mean we have more boys or more girls?
More girls.
There's 52 more girls, so there's more girls. Now, if you said 3 times as much is 3x, how do you write 52 more than x? Yeah, Matt, what are you thinking?
X plus 52.
Good, you're gonna have an x and an x plus 52. So be careful with this. Sometimes you're multiplying, sometimes you're adding. Sometimes you'll be subtracting or even dividing. It just depends on the wording. In this case, 52 more would be x plus 52. Now which one of these do you think is the girls and which is the boys? Since you know there are more girls, which is bigger?
52.
The x plus 52 is bigger, so this is the girls, this is the boys. And now how do we set up that equation for the total class again? Eli?
X plus 50.
X plus, good, good. X plus 52 plus another x all adds up to 316, excellent. So this was the total. These were the girls. These were the boys. And when you add the girls plus the boys, it equals the total. Now we want to add our like terms together. X plus x is
2x.
2x. And 2x plus 52 adds up to 316. How do I get rid of that 52?
Minus 1 by both sides.
Subtract 52 from both sides. All right. 2x equals, what's 316 minus 52?
264.
Excellent. 264. And then you can divide both sides by 2.
132.
X equals 132. Now wait, is that the boys or the girls?
Boys.
Back over here, X is your boys. So we have 132 boys. And how many girls? You're gonna take 132 plus the 52.
184 girls.
132 plus 52 is 184. So you should have 184 girls. You can double check to make sure that makes sense. When you subtract them, the difference is 52. When you add them together, you get a total of 316. Looking good? All right, the last type of question that you're going to encounter is consecutive integer problems. What are consecutive integers?
I don't know. They're integers that are consecutive.
Exactly, they are integers that are consecutive.
Are you
So
on
smart,
Okay. Integers, 1, 2, 3, 4, or negative 10, negative 9, negative 8, negative 7. They include 0 and the positives and the negatives, but no fractions, no decimals. So they're gonna come out to be nice numbers, but it could be positive or negative. All right, consecutive, what's consecutive mean? Consecutive days are like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
You go in order.
So what are consecutive numbers?
Numbers that go in order.
Yeah, numbers that go right in order, one right after the other. And so if the first number is x, what would be the very next integer? Perfect. That would be twice as much, and it wouldn't necessarily be the next one. But Ethan, you said x plus 1 would be the very next number. And then the next number after that would be x plus 2. So if you want consecutive numbers right in a row, it's going to be x plus 1 and x plus 2. Now, in this particular problem, they gave us one little detail down here, just one. They will have a sum of 42. What does sum mean?
Addition.
Adding. So we're going to add up all three of those. We're going to take x plus the x plus 1 plus the x plus 2 and make it equal 42. Do you see any like terms we could combine?
Yes.
What do you got?
4x.
X plus x is
3x.
3x. 1 plus 2 is
3.
3.
I wasn't thinking you got that right.
And now
Yeah,
you
me
get rid of 3. You subtract 3. And when you subtract 3, you've got 3x equals
39.
39.
39.
39. Okay. And then we're going to
That
divide
is
both
not
sides by
the
3.
My answer's the answer.
Exactly.
Oh,
Did you get 13?
yes, I definitely did.
39 divided by 3 is 13? Okay, now back up here. My first number is 13. But
Hey,
what's
knock it off.
13 plus 1?
14.
14. And what's 13 plus 2? 15. So 13, 14, 15. Okay, now the